I'm very excited about this video, by the way. I'm very excited. So we're gonna be talking about a couple of my favorite things. Now, by this time, I'm sure that you guys are fully aware that I love talking about movies. But if there's one thing I love talking more about than movies, is being able to talk about movies and the weird drama stuff that happens around the movie. And today we have exactly that. So in my video where I was talking about The Nightingale, I was literally saying that there was some drama surrounding a particular movie where YouTubers were being contacted by the director with a bunch of weird either like cease and desist things, you know, remove this thing from your video, and a bunch of other crazy things. And I just kind of wanted to follow that rabbit hole, and I've been having a great time with it. So the movie in question is Swiped, and this movie literally never hit my radar. I'm on Netflix pretty much all the time. If I'm editing, I'm working, I'm just like rewatching The Office or something, or I will throw on one of these really crappy Netflix movies because they don't really require any focus and it's just background noise. I'm the type of person, I just need something going on in the background where I work on things. So surprisingly, this movie still didn't hit my radar, even though I watch a lot of the movies in this demographic because they just constantly get recommended to me by Netflix, and I'm like, I just finished my 85th watch of The Office, might as well pop on this piece of crap. So what ended up bringing this movie to my attention was the fact that a YouTuber I watch called Elvis the Alien made a video about it. Actually, a couple people that I watch made videos about it, or people that I've at least experienced, but I skipped over their videos. Let me just kind of explain to you what Swiped is, because I ended up watching it last night. That's right, I subjected myself to this, and that will also go into some points that I'll be making later. But basically, this movie is like The Social Network if The Social Network was bad. And there's just so many weird contradictory things. So the basic thing is you got this nerdy kid who's going away to school. You get the impression that he's really smart and should be able to go to something like MIT or something, but he can't go because his family, like his dad lost the inheritance, so they don't have money, even though the grandparents are, I think the grandparents are still rich. So this kid is just stuck going to like a crappy university, I guess, and he ends up dorming with Noah Centineo. That's right, Noah Centineo. If you don't, Centeneo, I don't know. But he's the one. He's in all of these Netflix movies. Like, I associate Noah with Netflix movies to the extent that if I see him in a movie that's not on Netflix, I feel uncomfortable. Like, he's gonna be in the new Charlie's Angels, and I just feel highly uncomfortable just seeing his face in this movie. That's not where you want to be, but you know, he's doing really well. The teenage girls really like him. So the big thing with this nerd kid, who is not Noah Centineo, that's his not nerdy roommate, is that he wants to make an app or code an app that changes the world. That's gonna change the world, which, yeah, I guess if you're a coder, you're an app person, that's definitely what you want to do. Except when these goons end up like getting his attention to make them an app, which is basically a dating app where you don't find out their names. They have to leave immediately after the hookup. You're literally a rule, you can't date. You can't see them again. This is literally the serial killer's app book. But either way, when they realize he's smart and has coded apps before, and they ask him what kind of apps you've made, he says,
one of them led homeless people to shelters. Another one assisted the blind on public thoroughfares. Another one hosted local food drives.
This man has coded apps to help homeless people and the blind, and he doesn't think he's made an app that changed the world. That's just bad writing. Anyways, it basically just turns into this whole thing where he's being forced to code this app because his roommate's super rich and just says he can have all the money. He can have all the money so that he can eventually go to MIT, but then obviously it suddenly becomes a problem when his mom starts using the dating app and he doesn't want her to just be going out, hooking up, even though she doesn't understand that that's what it is. And then the end of it, like the whole thing, in my opinion, is supposed to be a commentary about how dating apps are sexualizing women and they don't work in their favor, as if some women just can't, like, it's a thing. Like, you know, some women are into hookup culture, some men are into hookup culture, some men aren't into hookup culture, and some women aren't into hookup culture. And like the whole idea that women would just flock to this app called Jungle that literally says you can't have names, you gotta post basically naked pictures of yourself on the app, and that there's not even the chance of commitment. Like, you're not just suddenly gonna get all these girls on that app because they just don't want to be alone, because they're still gonna be alone. I don't get it. Either way, they keep trying to push that it's satire, but we'll get to that in a second too. Oh my God, there's just so much fun. Either way, the issue with this movie, other than it being horrible and the acting being horrendous, is that the creators of the movie really seem to take offense with the fact that people say they don't like it. So the first two people apparently that are kind of like larger that made a video about this that I would have known were Drew Gooden and Danny Gonzalez. They made a video about it at the exact same time because they both realized they were making videos on the same time. But I think the main reason why they were getting the request to make a video about that movie is because a smaller YouTuber who's actually still quite large, she's significantly larger than I am, Trin Lovell, I believe her name is. She made a video about it on her channel and everybody really enjoyed it. But then here is where a lot of the drama started. But first, I realized I didn't watch, probably should have watched Danny's and Drew's videos before I made this. So just give me 1 second. All right, I'm back and I feel better for the fact that I've now watched 3 like 20 to 30 minute videos about the same movie that is not worth watching at all. So Danny actually pointed out to me that Noah Centineo tweets some of the weirdest crap ever. And he also managed to point out to this movie, even though I watched it myself, I still was under the impression that this was one of his first movies, that this was something that had been on Netflix since like 2016. But no, this was released like right towards the end of 2018. And then Drew pointed out to me that towards the end of the movie, like I mentioned, is supposed to be trying to counter this idea of like, you know, the quick dating culture of app dating and whatnot. You know, at the end of it, he says he's going to make one for the girls that's like the complete opposite. And it's all about commitment and it's all about, you know, what are your values and all this stuff. So basically christianmingle.com. But he's going to call it Eve. And then Drew was good enough to point out that Eve is already an app for period tracking, which is infinitely more useful, I would imagine. Let's get into the more drama surrounding this movie right now. So obviously we're having good fun. We're making fun of that this movie is bad, but the next layer of this is that the director really is getting offended by the fact that YouTubers are calling the movie out. They're basically doing movie commentary the same way that they do other channel commentary. Which is really entertaining to a lot of people. So like I mentioned, this kind of all started, the first issue started with this YouTuber named Trin Lovell. So she ended up making one about this movie and ended up apparently getting a very rude letter from the director telling her that basically everything she was saying about it was wrong, and they forcibly removed it. So here's a screenshot of it showing that the video is currently unavailable. And then she specifically said, that director not only took down the video, but also harassed me in my comment section all day yesterday. If y'all could see the email she sent me, you'd die. By the way, I was gonna keep all this private until she started posting publicly in my comment section calling me a moron. So there's just multiple layers about this. Now she's, like I said, she's not the first person that I got linked into this story from. That's just where the loop seems to start. Maybe there's a smaller YouTube that got hit by this earlier. There's probably it looks like there's a written reviewer that also got hit pretty hard. This is what was sent to a written reviewer. I read your scathing and witless review of my film Swipe today. If you hold yourself out as a writer, then you should understand the meaning of the word satire. Apparently you do not, so I'm providing it for you here. The use of humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity or vices, particularly in the context of contemporary politics and other topical issues. The issue is, though, is that if you're weaving satire into a movie where you're also trying to have a serious point of conversation, that's where it gets confusing as to knowing whether or not you just wrote your characters horribly, which you did, because at that point, the entire idea of the concept that they're working on should be the satire, not the way they're acting. Like at the beginning of the movie, there's literally a guy that's all like, hey babe, you don't need to know my first name or my last name. Do you see this? This is my, this is my key to sex. I don't need you. It was just dumb. It didn't come across as satire. It came across as dumb, lazy, bad writing. She goes on to say that, if the message of Swipe continued the propagation of an absurd and false narrative constantly being promoted in the media, that all women enjoy and benefit from anonymous casual sex, no doubt you would have liked the movie better. I don't think that's what people have the issue. So I had the guts to make a movie that opposes the culture that has normalized women posting themselves and sometimes their body parts on public forums in order to meet people as if they are used sofas being held out for sale on Craigslist. So this person really has a problem with the fact that people don't like this movie. I kind of clued in and realized something was going on when Elvis the Alien posted that he got this particular email. So he said, wow, so this is the first. I got an email from the director of Swiped threatening to remove my video because I put in spoilers. And apparently my video isn't fair use, but it is. It is fair use. I'm interested to know if Drew Gooden or Danny Gonzalez got similar emails, which apparently they did. Drew hasn't said anything, but Danny did say that he had to edit out a few clips, but they're still not happy with it, probably because it's still a bad review, but they haven't taken it down. They took down Trin's video. So the specific email that Elvis got was, "Hi Elvis, I'm the writer/director of Swiped. I watched your video. You need to remove the clips from the last half/third of the movie, which are spoilers. Your use of the clips from Swiped as it now is beyond the scope of fair use, and it harms me and all economic stakeholders in this film, including my distributor and the platforms that show it. I will give you to today to remove these clips. As the video stands today, your use of the clips from Swipe for profit is excessive, is for your economic gain, harms me economically, and thus beyond the scope of fair use, which makes it copyright infringement and Fishman." Now this is where it kind of gets weird. Obviously using movie content stuff in reviews and commentary on YouTube, for the most part, should fall under fair use, but they will hit you if it finds matches that end up going on for too long. I ran into this issue with my review of Spider-Man Homecoming on my second channel, which was glowing. It was praising. I was literally just talking about how much I loved the movie, but there was like certain sections where it was like, this section's going on for a little bit too long, so we got tricked. We're going to take your monetization, even though there's no monetization on that channel. They, as a larger company, have the ability to do that. But this is kind of a mixed situation where, yes, these people are using a lot of the movie in their criticisms. But if anything, it looks like it's making more people watch it. And I'm sure if you actually check Netflix's logs, you would see a higher spike in people watching Swiped after a lot of these videos had been released, just out of pure morbid curiosity. Even though I've watched 3 different people, well, I guess at the time, one person literally explained through the entire movie, I still ended up watching it last night just so I could see it. And also in Danny and Elvis's videos, when you're actually on their pages, the movie's being advertised for rent on YouTube. So if people didn't have Netflix where they can watch it for free, I get it, you're paying for a subscription, but still, whatever. You could rent it on YouTube for the low, low price of $4.99, at least Canadian. So they're at least giving the option that people can be like, wow, I want to see how bad this is actually, because people love watching bad movies. It is a guilty pleasure. Sometimes you get movies that are so bad, they're just fun and they're good, you know? Like, it happens. Doesn't necessarily become good, but it's still just entertaining to see how bad a movie can actually be. But that was about the point that I started going back and doing other research and seeing if anybody else got hit. So Danny said he had to edit out a few scenes. I don't know if Elvis ended up doing that, but I ended up looking them up on Facebook. So I figured, you know, a lot of these movies have Facebook pages. So I wanted to see what was happening on their Facebook page. So let's read some of the stuff on Facebook. So the first post I saw was, just watch this and wow, minus a couple actors, it was really bad acting and just overall sucked. Don't waste your time. 17 combined upvotes and hearts. So Swiped, the official movie page, said, sorry you did not like it. Is it possible you did not understand the message of the film? Ah yes, when people don't like something that's a very, very, very basic teen comedy, just so basic, always question whether or not people understood it. This isn't Citizen Kane, man. This is a movie about a dating app. So of course, after that, the director, who we know her name already because of the letters that she sent other people, the hookup app culture is awful and Swiped reflects that. Why do you think so many love the movie and you didn't? Where are these people? Where are the people? I'm not saying that there's people that didn't like it. There's probably the target demographic of this being young high school or middle school age girls probably maybe did enjoy this. It's weird. Acting wise, it comes across like a Disney original, but content wise, it doesn't seem like it would be appropriate for anybody under the age of 16, maybe 15 or 14 to be watching it. It just seems like something that would be playing on the Disney Channel. So this kind of continues on where it's clear that maybe Anne forgot to switch off the Swiped account where it says it's called satire. And people are getting real into it and saying you're pathetic at Swiped. Wow, satire, that really missed the mark. And then I noticed that there was actually one guy defending it. I noticed one person publicly defending this. So Anthony here said, haters show themselves easily and effortlessly. I think Swiped was dead on. I mean, take a look at the comments on this post. Shows you how people take the social media to feel big and important. You take time out of your lives to bash a movie. I get it. That is true. People do. You feel real strong behind a keyboard. It's a fact. It's a fact of life. It's a problem. But you can bash a movie all you want. There's nothing wrong with, saying that you didn't like a movie. And if they keep arguing with you, you are more likely to be like, at first I was just going to say I didn't like your movie, but now I'm going to say that you suck as an individual too. That's meant to entertain you. If you were not entertained, that's your opinion. But to say worst movie ever seems like you haven't seen a lot of movies, therefore shouldn't be taken seriously. I think the film strikes a nerve to the younger generation because they run their lives by making judgments when really they are judging themselves. Swiped! These filmmakers worked hard and achieved success by having their work displayed on such platforms as Netflix. Yes, Netflix, who have given multi-million-dollar deals to Adam Sandler and him just making these horrible movies with his friends. The pinnacle of entertainment, Netflix. And Netflix, you do some great things, but come on, man. Keep your head up. There will always be haters. That means you did something grand. They saw the movie and took the time to find the movie's social media platform and speak about it. Bravo! A winky face and a thumbs up. I noticed that he had been defending the movie in a couple different spots, so I clicked on his name on Facebook and noticed that he's a film composer at Cinematic Motion Pictures, and I thought, no, there's no way. So I looked him up on the good old IMDb, and sure enough, of the things he's known for, the #1 hit is Swiped. Somebody involved in the movie is seemingly the only person other than the director and the page that's probably run by the director defending it. That when I saw that, that's when I was like, I am excited to make this video. It's also very telling that when it was just Trin's video for the most part that had obviously a lot of views and a lot of attention going to it, they just flat out took the video down. You don't have to necessarily take it down, you could just monetize it yourself or something, or at least reach out to her in the same way that you reached out to Danny, to Elvis, because she specifically said, this is a lot nicer than how she came at me. And I don't know if it's because now that there's more people or because they're significantly larger creators. I don't know. But anyways, that is gonna do it with this wild ride that is Swiped. It is not worth watching. This was fun. This was a fun little thing to look down. So I have the people that I mentioned linked below if you want to subscribe and follow their channels, specifically like Trin, I guess, because she seems like she got hit the hardest in the fact that her whole video was taken down, but now we're bringing attention to it, and it's fun. It's so fun. So thank you all so much for watching. If you have any thoughts, if you've seen the movie, let me know what you think down below. If you have any thoughts about anything else, obviously fair use stuff can get a little bit confusing, but the level that they are kind of going at these larger creators is just not going to help them in the long run. So thank you all so much for watching. Sorry if this video was super long, and we'll catch you all later.